Hello everybody, my name is Connor Taz and welcome to Sir Kitten's News. Now today's video is a little bit late because a massive amount of stuff happened this entire week, some of it carrying over literally to today, Monday, March 23rd. So I would rather be safe than sorry and collect everything and put the video out late rather than leave something out. So with that, let's get into the story. So for our first story today, I already kind of covered it on TikTok, so I'll just play that video because nothing has changed. In TikTok news, Charli D'Amelio has deemed a video worthy of an apology. She made a video saying, POV, you're a cosplayer, something. And everyone got mad. Now, the cosplayers got mad, and that is not hard to do. The cosplay community tends to be a very sensitive bunch of people, and that's just how it is. The commentators have a little bit tougher skin, I guess. But Charli D'Amelio's video, I think it was a pretty good apology.
My friend and I made a video where it was completely taken the wrong way, and I'm so sorry if you thought that I was trying to bully or bring you guys down in any way, shape, or form. That is not the type of person that I am.
Even in her comments responding to people saying, why? She's like, no, it's my bad, it's my bad. So I've said it before and I'll say it again. Should the cosplay community calm the heck down? I guess. So with that, let's get into our second and biggest story, I'm pretty sure, of this year. Like, I've never seen something this explosive in my entire year on TikTok. It's so explosive, you could possibly call it a cospocalypse. So I did take the liberty of watching everybody's videos, a whole 50 minutes of TikToks, and every time something relevant came up, I wrote it down here so I didn't have to watch the whole video again, just to tell you chronologically what happened. So if I'm reading this, please excuse that. I would like to try not to diverge and just stay to what I wrote down. So, Ian, also known as Infernum Asylum, went to a cosplay convention called Katsucon in National Harbor, Maryland. When he came back, he posted a video throwing shade at people you wouldn't know unless you were in the community. He deleted that video and made a follow-up video saying that his fans should mind their own damn business and not accuse people of talking behind his back when they don't know who it was.
I don't need you guys making assumptions and attacking whoever you think was the cause of the problems this weekend, because that's actually what was the problem in the first place this weekend. People don't know how to fight their own battles, make stuff apparent, be direct with other people. So I would appreciate if you guys mind your damn business and don't try to fight my battles for me.
Now the TikToker Ava Lee must have been one of the people he was talking about, because she came forward with information she had been holding on to about Ian for either a month or a week, and then decided to come out about it after that video. I say a month or a week because she kept talking about Florida, that something happened in Florida. But the only convention that happened in Florida that I'm aware of was Playlist Live, and that happened a month ago, and Katsucon that happened in Maryland was a week ago. So when Ava Lee came out with these videos, this is what she said in summary. Ian was being sexually explicit towards TikTok creators at this convention, whichever one that was. She tells us that she heard all of this from a fellow content creator and her sister, but saw none of it. She also saw direct messages but couldn't show it to respect their privacy. However, she had her sister's permission to talk about it and used her sister as a prime example of how this all happened. Ava goes on to say she tried defending Ian first by sending direct messages, and that Ian did a very good job of making her feel like everything was okay. After apologizing for discrediting her sister's feelings, she showed some direct messages between her and Ian. Ava also thought that it was important that Colton, Clap Daddy, be thrown into the mix. She has no personal quarrels with him, except that he acted weird and sexual around minor trans men, and she wanted the cosplay community to know the dangers of hanging around him. She goes on to say that she's heard first-hand experiences, but hasn't seen any direct messages of this pedophilia. After Ava came out with this video, a lot of other TikTokers started to come out of the woodwork to tell their stories. VegetarianWater was the first person to openly share experiences with Colton, saying that there was one particular instance where Colton and VegetarianWater FaceTimed. Colton was very adamant about knowing VegetarianWater's kinks, as well as sharing that he also had the same kinks. VegetarianWater also shared that Colton was disapproving of relationships and wanted VegetarianWater all to himself. VegetarianWater also put up some screenshots of Colton from Discord, but when people said they were fake, VegetarianWater said that they weren't. One guy's opinion did some legwork and lined up dates with what VegetarianWater said and showed direct messages from VegetarianWater's Discord.
Another child on this app who's been sharing their story over the past few days has provided me a screenshot of Clap Daddy's Discord username and the ID numbers match. Again, I will not show that number until I receive another confirmation from another kid. This was the child that Colton was messaging back when he was 16. Here's some of their conversation on Discord. Notice the dates of the conversation matches the other victim, as well as notice how Colton's encouraging a child to send him pictures of themselves. Further conversation. And further conversation where Clap Daddy mentions to this child that he will duet him. The message was sent on September 27th. And look who duetted that same child 3 days later. So be sure and let me know how these Discord messages are faked.
However, in later videos, Vegetarian said there weren't any direct messages and that all the conversations were phone calls and video chats, but then provided other people's messages.
Why don't I have screenshots? Like I said, a lot of this stuff happened over calls, and anything that did happen over text, I would delete because I didn't want my parents going through my phone and finding that. You'll have to pause, but this person texted me and I just saw it like 10 minutes ago. See what I mean when there's a pattern? So if you don't want to believe me, fine, but I'm not the only one who has stories. And I know stories that I can't even say because they're not just my stories.
After this, Colton responded to Ava's allegations by admitting that he does interact with trans minor men as well as adult trans men. He did respond directly to Ava's comments by saying that he didn't wish to send any of his fans to hate on her.
Hearing those things that Ava said about me, really shocking, and it really hurts. I've done nothing but love and support everyone. I've done nothing but help people. Yes, I have friends who are trans, who are younger, but I also have friends who are trans who are older, and because I support the trans community. I'm not gonna go bash on Ava. This is probably why I'm going to quit TikTok soon, because of this toxicity.
Around this time, Ian started his official response to all of Ava's comments relating to her sister in a 10-part video series. The first 3 videos are basically him saying that he wants to dedicate to the character he's in, and the hand motion that started this all was not malicious, but he didn't excuse his behavior just because he's in character.
As I was sitting down, I complimented Ava's sister on her corset. I complimented her with this action by grazing her corset with my hand.
In the next couple of videos, he states that if Ava and her sister made it clear in that moment that they were uncomfortable with how he was acting, he would stop. He goes on to show screenshots that I'm guessing is after the original shade video he made, that Ava, her sister, and him were all on good terms.
Ava let me know what happened, and she said it's absolutely not your fault. She was playing into your jokes. She's just bad at letting people know how she feels. To which I replied, I'm so sorry, I did not mean to. I just want her to know I was being in character. I absolutely apologize, and it will never happen again. Ava replied, you're totally good. We realized that. I just wanted to make sure you knew because it's kind of weird to bring up. I replied, thank you so much for being awesome and telling me. I never want to make anyone feel uncomfortable. I replied at some point that Rascal's character can be a little forward sometimes, but it's all in good form. I'm so sorry again. She liked this response. No hard feelings. We love you and that stinky man. I hope this can bring to light how severely downplayed this situation was. Hey, I'm so sorry for making you uncomfortable. I was solely being in character. Now, I didn't state this to justify my actions. I stated this to make her know that I wasn't interested in her. I didn't do it because of any sexual interest in her. I didn't mean for it to come off as malicious. I hope we can still be friends. To which she replied, hey, thanks for reaching out. It's okay, I understand. I should have said something in the moment, but I'm not always best at that. And for sure, we can still be friends. You seem really cool. She then, by herself, reached out to me a couple hours later. Hey, I'm sorry I wasn't around when you guys met up with Ava. I heard you still feel bad. If you do, please don't. After Katsukan, she then reached out to me again by herself. Hey, I just wanted to say it was cool meeting you at Katsu. We only talked briefly, but you were really funny. As you can see, why I would think that the situation was resolved. Now, I believe here I was saying some jokes to her Instagram story, and she replied, haha, I can't wait to see you again, BB. Now, this is all after the situation that happened at Katsukan. You would think that if the situation was so severe at Katsukan that she wouldn't reach out to me like that. So that in turn makes me feel that this situation that happened at Katsukan is resolved and that it was a misunderstanding.
Every video except for his last is him restating that he doesn't want people to think that he's using his character as an excuse for acting raunchy or sexually explicit towards people. His final video of this 8-part video series, he makes an overall statement saying if anyone has ever felt uncomfortable because of how he acted, to contact him directly and that he'll apologize. After Ian's response, Ava's sister came out saying the exact opposite of what Ian had said and showed one screenshot out of several that Ian had already showed to prove her point.
In response to what's going on and share my side of the story with the Infernum Asylum guy, Ian. Basically at Katsucon, I was with Ava Lee, my sister, and some of her other friends that she was meeting for the first time. I didn't know any of them. I didn't know Ian at all. I wasn't even following him. I had no conversations with him. And the first thing he started doing when we would have any interaction was him commentating on my body. One instance was him brushing past someone and going right by my ear and being like, "God damn, you are so thick," which is objectively creepy and weird, and it made me feel really uncomfortable. Another thing he did was put both of his hands on my upper back where my corset started and commentate that waistline though as he's behind me, tracing both of his hands down my waistline and out, which made me feel really uncomfortable. At the time I didn't know if I was being dramatic or making a big deal, but I'll go into DMs into the next video and why I reacted that way. Later that night I talked to Ava about it and she was angry, so she reached out to Ian and was like, "You made her really uncomfortable," but she was downplaying the situation. She said it wasn't his fault, but she totally accepts responsibility and apologized to me in person multiple times and on the internet about how that was wrong. Ian then reaches out to me later being like, "I'm sorry I made you uncomfortable, I was solely being in character." Looking at it now, it's very obvious that that was an excuse for his actions. It's the same thing people say when they're drunk, "Oh, I'm drunk, so I didn't know what I was doing." In character or not, you're still consciously saying and doing things, so you know exactly what you're doing. There is no excuse. That didn't sit right with me, but at the time everyone's telling me it's fine, it's not a big deal, he didn't mean it, so I'm just like, okay, I don't want to make a big deal, this is a problem, so I accepted his apology. The reason I reached out twice was because he actually left me on red, didn't say anything, and posted to Instagram like 2 minutes later after him being like, "I hope we can be friends." They were all going to meet up the next day, and I just completely distanced myself and I went off on my own from the convention to avoid him the whole time because I did not want to see that person. I should have said something, but at the same time, that should have never happened at all.
After Ava's sister posted her video, Ava duetted it and then posted a video afterwards saying that she tried to resolve it privately, but Ian kept continuing to act sexual towards mutual friends of hers. After this, Colton made a second video apologizing to anyone that felt he had treated them inappropriately and to contact him personally so they can settle it privately. Around this time, Kaomas Response posted a video trying to distance herself from the whole situation.
Hey guys, so a lot of you guys have been wondering where I stand on this whole situation between Ava Lee and Infernum Asylum and Clap Daddy. And I would like to just make this very clear. I am no longer associated with Ian, aka Infernum Asylum, or Colton, aka Clap Daddy. Colton and I have not been friends for about a week now, and to be honest, I'm trying to heal from things that have happened off camera and the whole situation in general.
Now this part is interesting because this TikToker was the first person to make an abundance of videos with screenshots with Ian, and when I talked to her in her live stream, she said she didn't want to have any part of this. So you can take that as you will, but because she has screenshots proving Ian has been messing around with women, she's a relevant part of the story. So along with her showing screenshots between her and Ian, she gave a backstory that she was in a bad relationship and that she and Ian were flirting while Ian was in a relationship with his girlfriend.
So he'd say things like this and things like this. He would encourage me to break up with my boyfriend. He would get jealous. And then one day, he asked if I'd ever date him, and I said yeah. And he basically was 26, 27-year-old flirting with a freshly graduated 18-year-old. He wanted me to move to Florida, and he said he'd pay for it. And when he said he'd date me or stuff, I told him to be careful because it was getting weird, and I'm too young for him. And he continued to brush that off.
I'm not sure when Tiger Pony started posting Instagram stories, but it was later in this event. Going forward, I can only go off of what I've seen people post about their personal experiences with Colton and Ian. That being said, Ava came into my live stream and seemed happy to talk about her side of the situation and even provide messages to help prove her point. When we talked in direct messages, however, I spelled out for her my intentions of talking to her. I wanted to call her, record it, and post it on a YouTube video, and if it was possible, to talk to Tiger Pony as well. Ava changed her mind and said that she didn't want to do the interview anymore and spoke on behalf of Tiger Pony, saying she didn't want to talk either. So with that, let's talk about Tiger Pony's Instagram story. Tiger posted a lot of videos throughout the time this was happening, but the main points I want to touch on is that she said she was in an intimate relationship with Ian, so much so that Ian felt comfortable showing his privates.
This is my one message for every girl out there that's going to defend him purely because they're thirsty for him. I've seen his pants. It's not that good.
She even goes on to say that she's the smartest girl in the world and that he even tricked her.
Understand that he is a master manipulator.
master. Bitch, I'm the smartest girl who ever lived, and he got me.
Then following up that statement, she said she hates the argument that she needs to provide evidence or proof. You should just believe what people say if you don't want to be an idiot.
Where are your receipts? You're making a lot of claims. Where are the receipts?
I'm sorry! I didn't have my sexual assault photographer on me at the time that he was touching women, and I'm sure none of them did too! But that fucking argument that I need, like, photo or text evidence of him touching people? That doesn't happen. I believe people who say that that happened, because I'm not an idiot.
Around this time, Ian posted a 4-part video series admitting to treating women badly, manipulating them, and using them for his own self-interest.
Hello everyone, this is in regards to Lolly Tiger Pony. Allison is one of several women that I have been manipulating and into thinking that they were in monogamous relationships with me. I gaslighted them and manipulated them and made them think the world of themselves, only to things off and tell them that I wouldn't be able to commit to a relationship because of long distance or because of TikTok. That is the truth. When I was actually seeing other women behind their back. Everything that is happening right now is so well deserved, and as I always have told you guys, karma is a bitch.
Tiger Pony found out about this afterwards, and even after providing these videos of him admitting he did it, she continued to slam him.
I don't want to do this. I really don't, but so many people, because of the time frame he posted those videos in, have not seen them and have no way to see them. I'm going to repost them. I'm going to. I'll find them. They're fucking terrifying to watch. My point in posting them wasn't that he's acting weird or anything like that. Trust me, we all know it's fucking scary and manipulative, but I just wanted to show that he admitted to it. I don't care if he sounds genuine, because he doesn't, and if he really was sorry, he wouldn't have fucking done it for months!
Around this time, Ava went live and said some things that made me question her videos introducing all of this. I would have liked to ask her in that phone call, but because she declined, I'm gonna have to do it publicly in this video. My first question is why she said she found out all of this in Florida. Because she can't be talking about Playlist Live. That happened a month ago, and apparently this all happened a week ago in KatsuCon in Maryland.
Why now, not being rude? Because I found out. I found out in Florida, and I took a week to, gather information.
My second question is why she says at the beginning of the live stream that she can't go to the police because there's no evidence, but then throughout the live stream says she's seen evidence from other people. I ask this because it looks like she did this because there wasn't enough solid evidence to go to the police, so instead she went after their TikTok careers.
Harassment cases just get completely thrown out because there is such little evidence against them. There's no evidence he didn't do it either because there's no evidence. Really easy, just 911. That's not how it works, dude. It's screenshots and stuff that I've seen with my own eyes. It's not like a physical, you know what I mean? And it doesn't really matter a lot. Even in cases of sexual harassment where there are a lot of evidence, it's like they get thrown out anyway. And I'm not the one who has that evidence. I'm someone that's seen the evidence. It's up to those victims individually. I cannot go to the police on behalf of all the victims. I can't do that.
My third question for her live stream is when she said the victims should come forward when they're good and ready, but the whole thing started when she came forward on her sister's behalf with her permission, but didn't provide any of the screenshots the sister had of her conversations with Ian. So why didn't you let your sister come out first, then duet the video bringing attention to it rather than bringing it to light, but with no evidence from the person you're trying to defend?
How many victims did you write down a number? No. And you guys, this is way too fucking invasive. If the victims are gonna come out, they will, and they will. You just have to be fucking patient. Please, be respectful. These are people who have been through things. And it's up to them to come out or not.
At the end of all of this, Ian posted a video saying that Ava and her friend group sent police to his house for a wellness check, but he doesn't understand why they would come after him this hard knowing full well he would receive death threats, but then send the police to make sure he's okay.
The only reason I deleted those videos from last night wasn't to escape some sort of confession or anything. It was because police officers were stopping at my house to do wellness checks all night. One of those police officers had been sent by Ava and her crew, which is very weird for someone who's currently destroying me on the internet, and knowing that the internet would react by telling me to go kill myself. So they send wellness checks.
There are a lot of people showing screenshots of conversations, but at the end of the day, Colton admitted that he talked to minors and is fond of the trans community, which opens the door to, well, if he's talking to minors, who's to say that these things didn't happen? And Ian admitted everything related to using women. So even though the biggest players in this came forward shooting blanks, it didn't matter in the end, because Infernum Asylum Ian and Clap Daddy Colton stepped forward and admitted their wrongdoing. So the biggest question I have is this really the best way this could have been resolved? Can all parties truly say that they did their best to resolve this privately? I mean, I guess.